In the IT industry, there is one group of very special people. I call them the business analysts. Okay, the business analysts are people who doesn't deal with the technical part of the things, but deal with the business domain. But business analysts, while you try to uncover business needs, that means you have a very different way of looking at a business, right? Looking at the needs, and then you try to propose what this company, will need to do in order to improve the performance. So there's a little bit of that economic thinking inside there. That means how to use your skills of analyzing the business, where, can you save costs, where can you speed up, the services and service level. This kind of skills is not technical. It has got a lot to do with how you look at the functions or the running of the organization, and then make suggestions using technology to improve, right? To improve how you run the business.
You are the bridge between the user and the technical people. But of course, after some time, you also need to have some basic knowledge about IT. Otherwise, you may not know how to become the bridge, right, between the end user and the IT people.
While you're in this IT industry, we need people who look at business domain and develop deep understanding of the business. So you need to choose the domain, right? Everybody cannot specialize in domain. So if, let's say, you want to do logistics or you want to do healthcare, you try to get into the environment and learn the business. At the same time, read up enough about how people are using IT in this business. This is slowly moving you up to what we call the CIO level. Okay, to do this means that you're developing the skills to improve business, to innovate, to create new services. So my thought is that you could actually think about pursuing a career in a business analyst kind of a role. Okay.
I think as a young professional, a fresh graduate, I think first of all you must know what is your strength. You like to talk, right? You don't like to sit in front of the terminal, right? In front of the PC to do programming. No point to start a technical field, right? But one thing, if you want to be a project manager, you need to acquire certain technical skill. You're young, know your strength, know your weakness, and find a job that you can start. But as I said, my advice to you, if you want to be a project manager, you cannot start without some technical field. You must have some technical training before you can be a project manager.
Probably you are looking at the wrong company to join, because there are companies in Singapore where they are looking for character designers. Well, I might say that, yeah, I mean, if you go down the design route, maybe it gets a bit technical, but if you go down the design route, we're talking about like props design, character design, background design, and you have a bit of storyboarding skills, maybe, things along that line. So there are actually studios who look for specialized skills on the design side. I mean, the pre-production, animation is production, right? So I think maybe they are just not in need of that skill at that point of time. Yeah.
In the sense, the converged world, the need for hyper specialization, I think partly, do you really have to pursue one specific career path, or because you invest time in your skills, you can actually pursue different career paths, different things will open up for you. Yeah, so I think if you go to the US, you go to the Valley, you talk to people, they will tell you their job, their career path went here, there, they did this, they did education, they did some banking, and then they ended up as a CIO or CTO or something like that. Probably the important thing is that you are constantly investing in yourself. You're constantly acquiring skills. Yeah, I think that part, you have to do it. You have to do it.
If you like those subjects you have taken, you kind of like, wow, very easy for you, natural to you, then I think that's a good sign, right? If IT was like, oh, you get everybody else to help you do it, all the more you are sales because you get people to do it for you and not yourself, right? So think about that. Okay.
Our loyalty, to a company, in the past it's a given, right? But today, increasingly, you find that because you need to develop your own passion, your own skills, the organization and your interests may not be aligned forever. So I would say that today, in today's context, people are more looking at projects that they have the deep skills to contribute to. So if you are with this company provide you with the kind of projects that develop you, then I think it makes sense. But if it doesn't, then you have to think about moving to other projects that continue to develop you in that deep skills. So I think you need to take a pragmatic view, right, to this thing. I mean, I'm from the private sector. That's why I know how it feels like today, right? If you're in the project that doesn't meet all your needs and interests, it's going to be very painful, you know. So you got to look at what you want to develop as a person, right? Does the current job give you that exposure, you know, the development that you need, and can you build up this skill? So I would say in the IT, I mean, it's already happening today, right? A lot of people move around. It's not because they really want to change to different companies, but because, you know, of the interest of developing their skills.
If you actually change job every other year, you may not be able to acquire certain debt, right? But if you say every 2 years to 3 years you change job, is that okay, not okay? Depending on the individual, because some of you may learn faster. But once you change job, you need about half a year to actually adapt to the new environment, the culture, and all this, right? So become productive is about 1.5 years, right? And some of us may actually need a longer time, may need another 1 more year, that means 2.5 years to learn enough depth before you can change job.
If I see resume 1 year change job, get extra $300, I wouldn't want to hire this person for sure. Huh? Now, 2 years is just minimum, like what Yokwa said. Just nice, but I think you haven't really contributed to that company. You just been get all the skills, then you go away already. So not so good either. So if I see someone stay on about 4 years, I think at least this person have done their fair share to give back to the company. The company has grown as well as a result of that. Most importantly, I think you want to leave behind a strong, when you say resume, it's really a track record. What have you accomplished? What have you done? I have staff who have stayed with me. A lot of them 2 years, then they realize maybe, you know, not quite suitable, they will go. Quite a few stay for at least 4 years. And normally by the time of 4 years, I can tell you, the company also got a bit of a challenge now. I have to pay them quite a lot of money. Sometimes I overpay them because by then they have built up so much value to me that I don't want them to leave. So I would say, if your goal is to make more money, it really depends on how well they can build up the skills, the track record. I think in the long run, it will definitely pay off, not the 1 year change job. I think those will suffer eventually.
Starting out, right, and you're waiting for jobs, I think the best thing to do is to look for work that, you know, that you can volunteer for, right? Internship, for example, my company, sometimes we hire intern. It doesn't have to come from any of the established university. As long as people are interested to come and do a small project that takes maybe 4 or 5 months, you know, we welcome that. And you get a little allowance to do that. So you get to build up, you know, your experience or portfolio. And you guess what? A lot of these projects resulted in job offer. Now, if I find that you are suitable, I have a network of companies, of friends, right? Entrepreneurs, they have their company. I can say, hey, this guy is good in this thing. You know, if you need somebody, this is the guy to go to. You know, so broaden your network. So, you know, joining like, you know, this big community, right? And also expanding your own personal reach through this kind of work, especially when you're undergrads, you prepare early.
In my own team, fresh graduates, after 1 or 2 years, they actually can become the top performer in the organization within their cohort. So I think just to encourage you, you don't have to feel that you are disadvantaged as a fresh graduate. Willingness to learn, I think that's another attribute. Sometimes you are so competent and you have so much achievement motivation, you come across as, I know everything already, you don't have to teach me anything. So then the employer again will say, wow, a bit tricky, this person. Maybe a bit always answer back, don't want to cooperate, cannot work with the team members, then a bit difficult.
As an employer, of course we look for skills, right? We look for the knowledge that you have, but most importantly, most employers will look for attitude. Okay, all these motivations, you know, teamwork, you know, all this kind of attitude, they will contribute to a good sort of like, you know, work that you will bring achievement to the organization. This is what the employers are looking out for. So, you know, when you go out there and look for a job, you can show people you know something, you can show people you can do something, but most importantly, you have to display that, you know, you want to get a job done. Right, you want to learn, right? You want to contribute to the organization. Competency is not just about skills and you know, knowledge. It's really about wanting to raise the performance, raise the bar, you know, add value, make a difference to the organizations that you are working, and in return, make a difference for yourself, because by participating in this environment, you gain the work experience, right? So think along that line, then I think you're okay.